You've tried logic, reason, facts, and still they don't listen. Not because your arguments are weak, because you haven't learned the language of respect. Most people think respect comes from volume. The loudest voice wins. That's not respect. That's noise. Real power lives in precision. In words chosen like a blacksmith chooses his hammer. Today I'm showing you 5 phrases that when spoken correctly force people to take you seriously without raising your voice once. Your boss, your partner, a stranger, doesn't matter. These work because they're built on Stoic principles that have survived 2,000 years. Phrase number 3, when you use it, even your harshest critics will pause. Epictetus said it clearly. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. In commanding respect, this means one thing. You don't react with anger. You respond with firmness and calm. The Stoics understood something most people miss. The right words are arrows, small and precise, piercing any defense. From ancient Rome to now, the people who leave their mark aren't the loudest. They speak with conviction, clarity, and unshakable composure. Marcus Aurelius ruled the largest empire on earth without shouting orders. His words carried weight born from self-control. True respect isn't demanded, it's earned through how you carry yourself when tested. In your daily life, nothing's changed. A meeting at work, a disagreement at home, a confrontation with a stranger. Your tone can be quiet, but if your words are chosen correctly, people listen. That's what you're about to master. 5 phrases that when delivered at the right moment make anyone see you differently. Not as someone to dismiss, as someone to respect. Before we continue, this is where most people quit. If you're still here, you're different. Subscribe to this channel, not for motivation, but for mental tools you can actually use. In a world of noise, we offer direction. In a world of distraction, we build discipline. Hit that subscribe button now. Let's continue. Phrase 1. I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. Simple, brutal, effective. This shows you listened, considered their position, and your judgment is independent. You're not attacking or defending. You're establishing you think for yourself. Picture a meeting where someone proposes a flawed idea. Instead of saying, "That's stupid," or staying silent, you say, "I hear what you're saying, but I disagree." You've set a boundary, shown your mind isn't for sale. The Stoics called this separating emotion from judgment. You don't need to prove you're smartest. Just make clear your judgment belongs to you. The power of this phrase is it avoids direct confrontation while leaving an imprint of respect. They might not like your disagreement, but they'll remember you had the spine to express it calmly. Phrase 2. That's not acceptable to me. Direct, firm, hard to argue with. This shuts down disrespect without long explanations. You're drawing a line that isn't negotiable. When someone makes an offensive comment or tasteless joke, instead of laughing or staying silent, you say, "That's not acceptable to me." That simple statement forces reconsideration, not because you threaten them, because you won't validate what you consider wrong. Seneca wrote that personal dignity is an invisible shield. This phrase, delivered with calm conviction, demonstrates you respect yourself without arguing or explaining, just stating your standard. Phrase 3. We can continue this when you're ready to speak respectfully. This is the phrase that shifts control entirely to your side. You're not running from conflict. You're setting the terms for how it continues. Imagine someone speaking to you aggressively, interrupting, raising their voice, getting emotional. Instead of matching their energy, you take a breath, maintain your composure, and say, "We can continue this when you're ready to speak respectfully." Watch what happens. The dynamic changes instantly. They're forced to reconsider their behavior because you've made it clear you won't participate in an interaction based on disrespect. In Stoic terms, This is pure self-mastery. Epictetus taught that you can't control what others do, but you can always control your response. And here, your response does two things. It protects your peace, and it teaches the other person how they must treat you if they want your engagement. The impact of this phrase is significant. The first time you use it, you'll notice immediate silence, and then, curiously, more attention to your words, because you've demonstrated you value your peace more than winning an argument. Phrase 4. I'm choosing not to continue this conversation. This is closing a door with intention. It communicates you've decided not to invest energy in something adding no value. You're choosing where to focus your attention. Picture arguing with someone only trying to provoke you, wanting to win out of pride. The conversation spirals nowhere productive. You look at them calmly. I'm choosing not to continue this conversation. You reclaim control, end tension, demonstrate your peace is worth more than the last word. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This phrase applies that ancient wisdom. You don't play their game, and that refusal makes you stronger. Phrase 5. That's your view, and I respect it. But I don't share it. This phrase combines two elements that most people think are opposites: courtesy and firmness. You acknowledge their position. You show respect for their right to hold it. And you assert your own without asking permission or starting unnecessary conflict. Imagine a friend, colleague, or family member insists on convincing you of something you fundamentally disagree with. Instead of arguing point by point, exhausting yourself trying to change their mind, you respond calmly. That's your view, and I respect it, but I don't share it. With this, you close the door to pressure. You maintain the relationship, and you affirm your independence of thought. Seneca said something that cuts to the core. Being enslaved to the opinions of others is the worst prison. This phrase is the key to escaping that invisible jail. It reminds you that you can respect someone without surrendering your own judgment. Now you have 5 phrases. I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. That's not acceptable to me. We can continue this when you're ready to speak respectfully. I'm choosing not to continue this conversation. That's your view, and I respect it, but I don't share it. When you use them with calm conviction, something changes. People listen more carefully, measure their words, treat you with greater consideration, not because you demanded it, because you demonstrated it through your composure. Respect isn't imposed by force or won through aggression. It's inspired by character. How you carry yourself when challenged, respond when disrespected, maintain your standards without justifying them. These phrases are tools. They're only as powerful as the person wielding them. You can memorize them, but if you say them with hesitation or desperation for approval, they won't work. They work when they come from certainty, when you've decided your peace matters more than being liked. When you've accepted that respect from others starts with respect for yourself, that's the real work. Not learning the phrases, building the foundation inside yourself that makes them true. Start with one. Use it this week. Notice how it feels to set a boundary calmly. Notice how people respond when you refuse to play their game. Notice the power that comes from controlled speech. Then add another, and another. Until these aren't just phrases you memorize, they're natural expressions of who you've become. Someone who doesn't need to shout to be heard. Someone who doesn't need to fight to be respected. Someone who understands that true strength lives in restraint. At Silent Forge, we don't teach you to speak louder. We teach you to speak with precision, to think with clarity, to act with intention, so you can build a life of respect, inner peace, and unshakable mental strength. Subscribe now and continue learning how to turn words into your most powerful tool. Not for manipulation, for mastery. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 phrases will you use first? Which situation in your life needs this kind of calm authority? I'll read every response, because this isn't just about learning philosophy. It's about forging yourself into someone who commands respect without demanding it. Stay strong. Stay silent when silence serves you. And speak with precision when words are required. That's how you win respect in a world full of noise.